Hello, what's up guys, CodefForge here. Today I would like to show you how to create a multi-module project using Maven and Spring Boot. Okay, so in the first place, let's create two basic Spring Boot Maven projects. So I will change the group ID to the CodefForgeYT as always, and we will name our first artifact Airport API. And in this Airport API later we'll use Spring Web, so we will add it as the dependency. Second project which we want to create is in the same group, so it will become CodefForgeYT and the artifact will be Airport Core. And we don't need any dependencies over here, so we just have to download it and unpack it. I have opened the console in the localization where all my projects are living, and if we list the content of this directory we can see that Airport API and Airport Core are already unpacked. So now we can create a parent directory for them. So we want to make dir, which will be called Airport Management, and let's check out if it's created. Yes, it's here. Now let's clear the console, and now we will move our two projects to our new parent directory. So we want to use move command, and we want to move Airport API, let's say in the first place, to the Airport Management, and we want to also move Airport Core, and it should go to the Airport Management also. Let's clear it and let's check out if in our Airport Management we have all we need. So we want to list the Airport Management content, and we can see that we have the Airport API and Airport Core inside. So now we can open Airport Management in the IntelliJ. So we are over here, and now we want to click File. We don't want to select the Open option, we want to select New, Project from existing sources, and we want to select Airport Management. So we select it, we click OK. Over here we want to check the import project from external model, and we want to select Maven and finish. We select new window and it should be over here. In case of that, if the project has been not imported, you can restart the IntelliJ and it should be good to go, and this is what I will do. I have restarted IntelliJ and we can see that Airport Management is over here imported as the Maven project. And if we open it, we can see inside we have two modules, Airport API and Airport Core, and they are not recognized as the Maven project, so we have to create a parent POM file. To do it, we want to right click on our parent project, we want to select new file, and we want to name it pom.xml. Let's open one of the POM files from our submodules or child modules. So let's say it will be this one. And in the first place, let's copy everything and let's put it over here in our parent project. So we have the template. Let's get rid of this stuff over here. We'll add it later. We don't need any parent yet. So yeah, this is the very basic POM which we need. We don't want to change the group ID, it's good. So all we want to change is the artifact ID, because it is not Airport API. And right now it will be Airport Management. You can also call it parent, but we'll stay with the Airport Management. And also we want to change the name to the same. So I will copy it over here and paste it. Now we want to add modules to our parent project, and to do it we will use the tag which is called modules, and inside we will define our modules. We have two modules, and the first module is the Airport Core, and the second one will be Airport API. You can see that those names in the modules are coming from the names of the directories where the POM files of those modules are living. We can say that we have one POM file for each module. So for the airport API, it's over here. We can see that this airport API, and one for the airport core, it's over here. If we open it, we can see that this airport core. And also on the highest level, we have the parent POM, it's over here. And it is called the airport management, exactly like the directory we have over here. And when I have situation like this, I'm always deleting this idea over here. So let's delete it like this. I am closing this window and I am opening the project again. So I select new project from existing sources. I'm selecting the airport management and clicking OK. Finish. And we want to open it in the new window. Yeah, and now if we open the airport management project, we can see that the airport API and airport core are now imported as the Maven projects because we have this little blue square over here next to the directory. And this is what I'm doing all the time because it's working for me. And if you guys know a better way of doing it, let me know in the comments. I will be happy to check it out. Since our project is kind of ready to be built, so we want to select the Maven on the right side over here. It wasn't present before. And now we can say that we have 3 projects over here. And this one has the parentheses with the text root inside. And this is our parent project, which we can use to build our modules. So let's expand it. Let's click Lifecycle. And over here in the first place, let's click Clean. And after a few seconds, we got an error. And this is because parent project should have packaging property set to POM instead of jar, which is the default. So we have to go to the POM file of our parent. And we want to specify packaging. And we want to set it to POM. Let's try it one more time. So we click Clean. And we can see that we have success for airport core, API and management over here. So this is nice first step. And now we want to install it to install the dependencies in our local repositories. And as you can see over here, we are building all the packages one by one. We are running tests. And at the end, we are getting the summary that the installation of dependencies was successful. We can also check out the directories of our modules, and inside we can see that right now we have the target directory inside with the jar file inside. And the same goes for the airport core. We have the target and the jar inside. Okay, so right now it's pretty nice, but we still have some room for improvement. Now we want to open airport API POM file, and inside we can see that at the top we have the parent defined, and we can extract this parent to our parent. So our POM file in our module will be way smaller, so we can cut it out and put it in our parent. And we can do also the same for the airport core. So we open the POM file of the airport core and we can get rid of this because right now it is defined in our airport management parent project. Since we have taken Spring Boot Starter parent from our modules and we have put it in the airport management parent, now we have errors in our modules, and we can see that we have unresolved dependency for the Spring Boot Starter and Spring Boot Starter test. We have the same for the API. Yes, and we have the unresolved dependency for the Spring Boot Starter and web and Spring Boot Starter test. So all we have to do is to define a new parent for our modules, and it will be airport management, of course. So we can copy group ID, artifact ID, and the version from the parent. We can go to the airport core, for example, and over here we want to put the parent tag, and inside we want to paste the group ID, artifact ID, and the version of the parent. And we'll copy it one more time and paste it in the airport API. We can see right now that group ID is highlighted, and this is because it is now inherited from the parent, from the airport management, so we can get rid of this. And we can do the same for the core, because it is also highlighted. We can make one more improvement, so our modules will use the parent version as their own version. So we want to use the $sign in the version, but this is the version of the artifact itself, not of the parent, remember about that. And we want to say parent.version, and this is for the airport core, and we want to do the same for the airport API. So we say parent version. Oops. So right now we have achieved a nice level of consistency between our modules, and all we have to do right now is to manage the parent version of all the modules and the version itself of the parent. Let's rebuild our project. So we say clean in the first place. It's good. Now let's say install. And after a few seconds, it should be also success. And yes, it is. In the build terminal, we can see that we have some warnings, and we can see that we should use the project parent version placeholder instead of the parent version. But even if we do that, Maven will give us another warning, and it will be related to that we are using placeholder instead of fixed version. I'm not sure what is the impact of using this placeholder instead of fixed version, because I never had a problem with that. If you feel insecure with using this dynamic version for your modules, I will recommend you to stick with the fixed version in the future. But I will leave it like this right now, so you know that it is possible to do it this way. But I will not recommend it for your real life project. We could stop here, but I want to show you one more thing which is pretty cool, and it is the dependency management. We can define dependencies versions in our parent project, which is airport management. So in all modules, we will have the same version of the external library or internal library. Let's say that we want to store all models in our airport core. So we want to open source main Java, and over here we want to create a new package. So we right click it, package, and we say model. Inside we want to create a new class which will be called plain DTO, which stands for data transfer object. It will be pretty simple class, so we will have string property with the name. We will have int property with the name engines count. We also want to generate constructor, so in the IntelliJ you can use alt insert, select constructor, select properties which you want to use, and hit enter. And also we'll need some getters because we will use it with the service, RESTful service, so we want to generate them also. Since airport core will be only libraries, so we don't need the main method with the main class over here, so we can get rid of this. So we can delete it. And the same goes for the test for this class, so we can delete it also. Okay. Let's try to rebuild it. So we clean, and after that we want to install. and we have the error. This is because we also have to delete the build plugin from here, from the POM file, because we don't need it anymore. Okay, and now it should be good to go, so we clean. It's okay, and we install. And after a few seconds, it is success. Great. We have deleted this build plugin because we don't need airport core to create executable jar. We want it only to be a dependency or the library. Now let's say we want to use this plain DTO class in our airport API project. And normally you would like to go to the pom.xml, and in the dependencies section we would like to define the dependency with the group ID, artifact ID, and the version of the artifact which we want to use. But we can define it in our airport management parent project. So here at the bottom we want to define our dependency management section. So we say dependency management. Inside we want to define dependencies, and we want to create a new dependency. And our new dependency will become that CodefForgeYT, and it will be airport core. And right now we don't want to use the fixed version, we want to use the project version because we are in the parent. So $, curly braces, and we want to use the project version. The version is now being managed by our airport management parent, and if we want to use it in the airport API, we go to the POM file, and in the dependency section, let's say over here, we want to say dependency, and we want to use com.codeforge, and it will be core. Okay. You can see that we are not defining the version over here. The version is defined here in the parent. So now we can be sure that across entire project, airport management, we will use the same version of the airport core artifact. And it is really helpful when your project consists of like 10 to 15 modules or even more. Let's implement a really simple service right now. So we go to the source, main Java airport API over here, and let's create a new package which will be called controller, and also let's create new package for the service. Let's start with the service. So we create new class which will be called plain service, and first of all we want to give it the annotation of the service, so it will be the Spring managed bin. If you want to check out the video about Spring managed bin, I have created one, so I encourage you to check it out. Inside we want to create a simple method which will be public, of course. It will return the plain DTO. We can see that it's being imported from the airport core over here. And it will be called getPlain. Our method will be very simple. So we want to return new plain DTO object. And inside we have to give it a name. So let's say it will be jetplane. And it will have 4 engines. So good. Let's go to the controller. So we want to create one first. So the class will be called plain controller. We want to give it the annotation of the REST controller. And also we want to define a request mapping. And we want to set it to API. Inside we want to inject the plain service using auto-wired annotation, which is not recommended. We should use the constructor injection, but for this tutorial it's good enough. And we have to define the endpoint with the get mapping annotation. So we will have the value of planes, and it will be the public method, which will return the response entity, which is generic. So we will use again the plane DTO from the airport core library, and it will be also called getPlane. Inside we want to get the plane from our service, and we will store it in the plane DTO variable. And we want to call our plane service and the method getPlane, and we want to return new response entity with our new object, and we want to set the status to OK. That was pretty quick, so let's rebuild our project. We can click clean, install on our root project, so we are sure that all of our modules will be built or rebuilt. And after a few seconds it's good. We can start our airport API service. So we go to the main, we select the main method, and we click the run button. And it's building, yeah. And it's up on the port 8080. I have opened the Postman to test it out, so we will make the GET request on the localhost 8080 API planes. I click the send button, and in the response we are getting the jet plane, and the engines count is set to 4. This is basically how you want to create a scalable multi-module Spring Boot project. This is all for today. If you want to see more content from me, remember about liking videos and subscribing to my channel, and see you next time.